Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you all doing? Hope you're well, hope you're well. Hello, hello. Let me know if you can see me okay, hear me all right. Put it into the chat. Hey, Stefan, good morning. Hey, KLE, how you doing? I had a great night. It was super quiet. It has been super quiet over the last couple of days. Hey, Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? Hey, Ayakame. Alrighty, let's give it a minute or two before we get started. And in the meantime, if you are watching us for the first time, do drop a message, say hi, let me know where you're joining us from. And as our regulars stream in, a big welcome back to our daily market analysis. Hey Diana, how are you doing? Hey Christina, good morning. And yes, we are streaming on TradingView, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn as well. So wherever you are watching from, do help me out. Click that like and subscribe button and do drop a message and say hi. And one more minute and we shall get started. Diana says, market is a bit choppy. I like how the pound Aussie played but missed the trade. Otherwise would have been a 70, easy 70 pips. Did not look at the pound Aussie, but yeah, we can look at that later on. Hey Moss, good morning. How you doing? KLE just joined us on TikTok as well. Big hello. Alrighty, now let's get going. Good, good, good. Let me see, something's popped up. Alright, still streaming. Okay. Hey D-Train, how you doing? Alrighty, let's keep going. I said all that, you know, if you're new, drop a message, say hi, let me know you're here, where you're joining us from. For all the regulars, a big welcome back. Hey, let me know how did you find yesterday's session. It was a bit different yesterday. We were streaming on the Easy Markets Trading View session. So the regular live stream, they're happening on right now as well. So let me know how you found that session. And let's get to the quick disclaimer. Any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material. Please do your own due diligence. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and your objectives, financial situation, and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Okay? And if you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat, let me know. Any particular pairs you'd like me to look at, put it into the chat, let me know. Diana, again, was just saying about the pound Aussie, where there was a nice 70 pip move. We can do a quick look at that. Pips Apprentice just said, I like Diana's analysis, easy pips. Yep. We all like easy pips. All right, let me see. Okay, now, as usual, coming back to Forex Factory. Yesterday, what we had, just seeing the yen pop up a little bit right now. Hey Anthony, how are you doing? Yesterday, not a lot of news, well, a lot of news, but not big news events here, and that's why we haven't seen the markets move too much. In fact, today is it is Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, the 10th of January. Monday was a bit slow. It was within the range on the dollar index. Tuesday was even slower, a little bit choppy, but staying right across. Today looks like it might sit there, maybe a little bit of a movement, but I think that the bigger news event will be for tomorrow, with the CPI data to be released for the US. CPI year on year was 3.1, expected 3.2. I'll tell you more about that tomorrow, because it is tomorrow 9:30 p.m. GMT plus 8, so I'll tell you more about that during tomorrow's session. What we've had so far is this morning, 8:30 a.m. GMT plus 8, we had the Aussie CPI data release. It was a 4.9, expected a 4.4, came out at a 4.3. Good news, relatively good news for the Aussies in that sense. But if you look at the Aussie dollar at that 8:30 time, which is there, barely any reaction. I'll zoom in a little bit more. Right, that's 8 o'clock, the 8 o'clock candle. Barely any reaction on the Aussie dollar. Main reason is that the dollar index is sitting, I'll zoom in a bit more again. There we go. Main reason was that the dollar index at 8 a.m. was sitting right across. It didn't have too much movement. So the Aussie dollar sat right across as well. 4.3 is a good number, showing that inflation growth in Australia is slowing down, but still above the expectation or the RBA's target of 2 to 3%. Okay, so you see that in October we had that blip. Where it went from 5.2, expected 5.3, jumped up to 5.6%. And that's why we saw the RBA hike rates one more time. Now with a 2 months, right, to release in November 29th, 4.9, big drop from 5.6 to 4.9. Now in January from 4.9 to 4.3, it looks like we might be back towards that slowdown in inflation growth, but still high compared to the RBA's rate, RBA's target level. Okay, so not expecting. I don't think the RBA has come to the point of talking about rate cut scenarios. So the best scenario we can think of is that they're going to keep rates on hold. There is one whole month till that decision, because the next RBA rate decision is on the first Tuesday of the month, which will be in February. So good number, but we're not seeing the impact yet, because there is still a lot of data to be released before the next interest rate decision. Okay. Hey Jimmy, how you doing? Hey Erwin, hope you're well. Hey Gorgio, good morning. Now with that, Pip's Apprentice said, can you PM when the next one comes out? Don't PM him, Diana. Put it into the Discord channel. Everyone wants good easy pips as well, so share it in there. I'm sure we'll all jump onto that the next time it comes up. Okay, the link again for the Discord channel is there in the chat for you guys who have not. I don't know why you wouldn't have, or for those who have not joined already. Now, what else do we have for today? Some Euro news, Chinese new loans, not too concerned. We have at 10:15 p.m. Governor Bailey speaking, due to testify along with the Deputy Governor Sarah Breeden on the Financial Stability Report before the Treasury Select Committee in London. There hasn't been too much changes So I don't think we're going to see a big surprise here at this news event. Right? I don't think we're going to see a big surprise here at this news event. All the way through to tomorrow's CPI release. Member Williams speaking at 4:15 a.m. GMT plus 8 at the 2024 Economic Outlook event might have some impact. Definitely not something that I'll be staying awake for because it's 4:15 a.m. my time, but it might have some impact, especially if Member Williams mentions something about rate cut scenarios or recession in the market, or those two keywords, rate cut scenarios or not a rate cut scenario, or a recession in the market that's going to bring about big movements, relatively big movements especially on the dollar index. Maybe, but I'm more focused towards that CPI data. Okay, I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. Now, looking at the dollar index, it hasn't done too much, right? Hey Jamil, how are you doing? We spoke about this on the 8th. Yesterday we did a stream on Easy Markets. We said dollar index, on the 8th we said that dollar index was likely to remain within the range of 102 and 102.70. It's done that exactly. This was Monday that we spoke about it, and it came down on Tuesday, tested 102, again early Tuesday, and then pushed up late Tuesday, early Wednesday, came close to 102.70, got to 102.65, and then retraced. So it's still kept within that range on the dollar index. What I'm thinking now, remember we spoke about this yesterday as well, is that there is a very good support level found here, right? In fact, I'll put that as a support. And if we looked at this on H4, no, what was it? Was it on a daily time frame? Right, this was highlighted yesterday that on the daily, this is again on the daily time frame, we have that shoulder, head, and shoulder level identified there. So an inverted head and shoulder identified here on the dollar index, with the neckline at about 102.75. I would say that it would be reasonable to even consider the neckline at this 61.8 level at 102.85 or 102.90. Okay, so on the broader scale, on the daily time frame, we see an inverted head and shoulder on the dollar index. What I'll be looking out for, because of that, what I'll be looking out for is whether the dollar index is going to break above that 102.90 level, right? And if it breaks above 102.90, I think it would be a long shot for it to get to 104.30. There are levels here about that point that we can start looking at first. All right, 103.48, 103.50 that we can be looking at. So because of that, I would say that the dollar index today being the 10th is, we need to watch, look out for reaction at 102.90 or about 103, 102.90. Possible inverted head and shoulder. Okay, so there we have it. If it breaks out above that point, then we could see it get to 103.50. Above 10 breakout could get to 103.50. I don't see that as a big thing for today. Maybe something for tomorrow, but it looks like we're going to see that reaction at that point. Hey Angel Case, how are you doing? Jamil just shared US Swiss franc 2 trades in sell direction, 80 pips, very nice. Are you stacking, again I can't remember, I think I asked you this before, but are you stacking the trades or one at a time? Put it in, let me know. Okay, so dollar index, we're thinking that we might see that strength recovery continue, pushing to the upside. Now looking at this, might push up. Okay, then because of that, looking at the Kiwi, right, look, it's been sitting in that range again. Very similar, inverted, but very similar to what we see on the dollar index. Dollar index, we see a big push to the upside and then that consolidation. Kiwi, we see the big drop and then that consolidation. Okay, wide consolidation. So what we are looking for here is that firstly, if it breaks below that point, I think this would be a small trade. 6215, stop loss tight, take profit small at 30 pips, so 15 to 30 on the Kiwi dollar to the downside. If it breaks past that point, then we could see more downside, but I'll hold that as the first trade. That's the first setup. The next one would be about that point here. About that point there. Oops. Okay. That's a bit too near. I'll be happy even if that point there. Okay. So what I'm looking out for first off is if the dollar index does break above that, forming the inverted head and shoulder, pushing up towards 103.50, then we could see the Kiwi dollar push down, breaking below those recent lows down to the support level at 6186 or 6185. So 6215, let's do that. Kiwi, we're looking to sell at 0.6215, stop loss 15, take profit 30 to the downside. Okay. Happy New Year, Kalins Z. How are you doing? I would like that. Okay, I'm happy with that. Then onto the Aussie, pushed up, didn't do anything there, did not trigger that trade, take that away. Now looking to push down, I would say that it's still within that range, and I wouldn't be looking, very dissimilar to the Kiwi, I wouldn't be looking to try and sell this down yet. I would say if it breaks that support, then we could try and sell it down to that point at 66. So you could be looking at, again, dollar strength scenario about 6655. APM, how are you doing? Good morning. Stop loss can be quite tight. About 20 pips. I'll say a 20 pip stop loss, 45 pip take profit to the downside there on the Aussie dollar. Just thinking whether it could be worth thinking of that point instead. If we thought of that point with a bit of a hesitation there, it could be looking at 6670, 20 pip stop, 60 pip take profit to the downside. I kind of like that a lot more, right? Especially at that point you break below that level. So 6670, get in a little bit earlier. I do note that point, but I think if the momentum pushes it down, we could see it drop more. So 6670, 0.6670, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. There we have it. What could be happening here on the dollar is that we might see that push down again and then push back up. So maybe a little bit more weakness before pushing back up, but if it doesn't do, if it does push down, I wouldn't do anything yet, only when I see that dollar weakness come back into play, especially after it breaks above 102.90. I like that. Then onto the US yen. We were talking about this before. Buy at 145, stop loss 30, take profit 90. Right? It's right just before that point. Right? Just got to 145. I was before this session. I was looking at it going, right, looks like I could be buying the yen up, but right now it is retracing back down a little bit. 38.2 is there. I'm happy with that. I don't need 61.8. What I want to see here on, so that's 38.2. That's broken already. I don't need that level. Take away these 2 points. That's there. Just checking my levels again here on the dot on the yen. I do think that from the current look of it, it looks like we could see it push up a little bit more. I'm trying to see a better picture. Okay, there we go. Push up to about that point. And then I don't think 60 will be reasonable. 50% is about right there. Okay, so now zooming back in again. Looks like what's going to happen here on the yen is it's tested that, bounce back up. Okay, if it's going to hold above 144.75, right? If the US yen now retracing, but if it holds above 144.60, I don't think it should test that, right? So what I'm looking for is a move like that, back up, right? A retrace and a push back up. I would still maintain that view. I don't think it would be a 90 pip move. Oh, yeah, we go. There we go. 80 pips, 85 pips. Stop loss 35. I remember looking at the pound dollar. I want to sell that as well. Give me 1 second. We'll get to the pound next. So 145, 35 pip stop, 85 pip take. I'm happy with that. Okay, so what I'm looking for here on the US yen will be wait for retracement to complete. Buy at 145, stop loss 35, take profit 85. Have it? There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. Sorry, my throat's crazy today. Then for the pound dollar, yesterday or 2 days ago, we were saying sell 1.2690. Look at how the pound dollar is moving right now. It came down to 1.2690 again. This was something that I was before the session looking at, going, great, I want to sell this, but it came down to that point and then bounced back up. This is, I get a lot of questions about, when is it a good time to get into the trade. I would say I want it to close below, right, 1.2690, but you can see that this closed at 1.26887. I would say that that's too near, right? It's not a strong close below, and then we see all that tails and areas there. So I wouldn't have, if I were watching this before the stream, I wouldn't have gotten into it. Now it's rebounding back up a little bit. 61.8 is there. Dollar index is retracing. That's why we're seeing the pound dollar push back up a little bit. Now down to this point, it's going to come back up. It's going to come to 23.6. It's most likely going to come back up. The pound dollar does retrace a little bit stronger than usual, than most. So I think that it's likely to come back up and then push. We're still looking for that downward push. Let me check 50. I don't think you'll get to 50. I think that point would be reasonable. Retrace to 1.2715, and then we're looking to sell down. We do have that interim, still have the interim level there. Okay, we can take that away. We don't need that. That's my high point there. Looking for it to retrace, test, push back down. Again, retracement needs to complete. It's not ready yet. Needs the retracement to complete. But then after retracement, after completion of the retracement, what I would be looking at is 1.2680 stop loss. 20 would be the most I would go, and then 60 to the downside. I think this has good potential. Could be, I don't like saying the word, but could be easy pips, 60 easy pips to the downside. Hope I haven't jinxed it, but that might be what we're looking at. Diana says that would be a great trade, US yen, but you don't trade that pair. That's, maybe, we don't know. That might be a nice trade. Needed to retrace a little bit, then we're looking to buy it up. Yeah, I must wait for that retest. So I think that it could retest and push back down. Even if it sits there and starts pushing back down, I don't know how much it's going to retrace by, but we're looking for it to break past that point before we get in. So 1.2680, 20 to 60 to the downside. Okay. Pound dollar 1.2680, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. Okay, any news on the pound? No major news apart from the one at 10:15. There is still quite a number of hours till that news, so I'll be quite okay with that. And I don't think at this event, I don't think that it's likely that we're going to see any good news. I think at the very best case scenario is possibly going to be sitting right across. In the alternate scenario, we're going to see that pound weakness. I don't think we'll see this as a scenario for pound strength. And that's why I'm looking at that push to the downside. Okay, double check everything. All right, that's quite a good level there. I like that level. I like it breaking that level. Okay, so wait for it to retrace, wait for completion of the retrace before looking to sell it down. Hey Don Boso, how you doing? Now with that, then looking at the euro dollar next, right? Euro dollar. It's been sitting right across. Look at this today. This on the Wednesday, it's pretty much what started bouncing back up at midnight, bounced back up, and it's been super quiet. Even if I drag that out, you see that the euro has been trading in the range of 17 pips. Right? Even if it took that maximum body to body move, that's 16 pips. Very tight movements on the euro at this point. What I'm thinking of, that one stays. We don't need 23. Let me just check something. 38.2 is right there. That's how we see that test. 61 is there. Okay. I want to see euro drop. I want to see euro, see that big drop, and then it's been sitting right across. I want to see euro drop, but there is a little bit of a concern that it might bounce back up. If I just catch those areas, you see that forming a little bit of slight, very slight push to the upside there. Okay, so I'm slightly, as much as I want to see it drop, I'm slightly concerned that we might see the euro push up. Zooming out a little bit, take that one away. I'm looking at this again. That almost seems like it's forming a channel. Let me try a channel here. Right, see, we've got a nice channel here. Very low gradient channel here on the euro. Maybe something to consider, a bit different to what we've been looking at. We were looking at the dollar strength scenario. I am actually thinking that maybe we could be considering options of the euro pushing up, staying within that channel, bouncing off, pushing up. Test the top, came back down, bounced, and again, and now maybe pushing back up. Prince Philip OG said, I'll be looking to buy EU at your support level if CPI tomorrow takes it down. I think if tomorrow's CPI, and remember we were talking about this yesterday, US CPI tomorrow, we might even be looking at a 3.2, 3.3, maybe some push to the upside. I do think that it might bounce. I'm considering this. I'm considering this move on the euro. 1.094, be too far away. 4142. I want to see that close. My take profit would be about 45, almost 45 pips to the upside. My stop loss will be about 20 pips on that channel. I'll be looking for that. 1.0940. Stop loss 20, take profit 45. Right? So euro has a channel. So we're looking to buy at 1.0940. Stop loss 20 pips, take profit 45 to the upside. Right? Thinking of that. So there is just under 30 minutes for the hour to close. If it closes bullish, somewhat like that, on a bullish channel, then yeah, might be looking for that to trade within the range. Let's look for that. What do you all think? Flip OG says it might come down to this point and bounce back up. Yeah, so still looking at that bounce. Maybe a short-term, some short-term upside for the euro might be in a good place. Okay, then with that, US Swiss franc. Oh wait, since we looked at the pound, what was it? The pound and the Aussie, right? Since we looked at the pound dollar pushing down, now bouncing back up a little bit, but overall down over the last couple of days. And the Aussie has been sitting right across. Surprisingly, I don't have the pound Aussie here at the moment. Cleared out some of those charts. Let me look at that. Pound Aussie, I still have my layouts. Let me add that to the watch list. Okay, there you go. Pound Aussie played well to the downside. Look at that. It went up, tested that support, not support, is a resistance area. Let's clear all of that out. You can see that it got up to that point, tested that resistance area. A bit of a double top, well, not a bit, it is either a double top or not, but it is there, that double top scenario. And then we saw the pound Aussie push down. You can be looking at that point or even that point as a support and an interim level at about that point there because of what happened here. All right, so I think that was the setup that Diana was referring to. All right, move to the downside, good 60 something pip. I think if you got in a little bit earlier, you got that 70, but I would be looking at something like that instead. So 30 to 60 to the downside there on the pound Aussie. Very nice. Yeah, very nice setup there. Expecting to enter on the fair value at 1.898, 1.8981. Okay, 1.8981. Okay. So then what you have followed, I'll take that away for now. Then what you have followed up with is, yes, because of that move, we see that gap there. So with that, we have that 50% level, 89, I think I didn't draw it exactly, but 8983. So what you're looking for here is a push, a retrace, a test of that level, and then to push back down again. For that to happen, yes, I see where you're coming with that setup. It would also mean that we're looking at the pound dollar possibly completing that and pushing down. That would see the pound Aussie push down, and then Aussie may be sitting right there or pushing back up. All right, but I think if the Aussie sits right there, no big action on the Aussie, and yet we see the pound dollar push down, then we could see that play out. So yeah, I like that setup. Back down towards this support at 1.8910 thereabouts. Can we consider on H1 time frame as a break of structure? I don't know. I need to refer to what exactly is a breakout structure. Let me think. I don't think so. Can we consider X1 as a breakout structure? I think that because of that moving up, maybe, but it's gonna, maybe if it breaks past that point, right? What we're looking at is that move. Wait, what am I doing? That point, right? So that's why you're considering that it's broken that level. Maybe, but I want to see it retrace. I think that if it breaks past this point, then yeah, definitely. If it breaks past this point here, then more likely 8950. Yeah, if it breaks past that point for sure, and then again if it breaks past that point. I'm not super full bottled on the ICT terms and structures and all that. I know it a little bit, but I'm not super on the ball with it, not at my fingertips. But I look at it in a, without the terms, but in a similar fashion. So yeah, if it breaks past that point, we could see it get lower. All right, you can see my uncertainty and discomfort with that. Nothing wrong with it, just saying that it's not something I'm super familiar with. Okay, we did that, we did that. Now we're on the US Swiss franc. Right, we saw that we were talking about this pushing back up yesterday. Now look at this. I like the way it's moving right now. I want to see that bounce. If the dollar actually pushes lower, right, it pushes all the way through that trend line, then this might form up quite nicely. This might form up quite nicely if it closes down and you look at something like 8515, stop loss 20 pips, take profit could go down to that 50 pip level. We can take a couple of that away. Yeah, it's thanks for that, Diana. I'm just terrible with the terminology. Just not, you know, it's just not something I got used to when I was trading. So it's just, yeah, same, but a little bit different. Okay, let me do that. 50% is there. I am happy with that point. So I like that as a good support level. I like that as my resistance level. I like that pushing back down. I can live without that. Close below, so 8515, 20 to 50 to the downside. I can do that on the US Swiss franc. 0.8515. Stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. And also because it is at that resistance level, there is also that chance, right? We were talking about this pushing down before, maybe pushing back up again. We could also see that bounce off, or retrace now and then break up, break to the upside again. So you could also be looking at about 8540, stop loss 20, take profit 35. Not a super big trade here, but that would be the first level you look towards. You could even be thinking of a resistance at about that point there. So you could even be looking at that 60 pip move as well, almost a 60 pip move to the upside. Okay, so you have that option, on the US Swiss franc, what you need to do is wait for that 15 more minutes to come around. If it breaks or bounces off from this resistance level, then you'll see how that trade plays out. I do like that we have similar views as well. That builds a lot of happiness. Okay, with that, then the US CAD, we saw that test and trade down. That was from Monday. US CAD right now sitting at that resistance level. We don't need this. Oops, we don't need that. We have a good support here. I don't need that in particular, right? And you can see here that the US CAD has been pushing to the upside. Look at it, very similar in terms of a broad price movement. You can almost overlay the dollar index onto it. Might look quite similar. There is that push, the potential for it to push to the upside. I just want to check if there are any major CAD news to be released. Not really. No, nothing at all. Not really. So see that retracing. I want to see that bounce. Let's look for it. Very similar to the dollar index. What I would be looking for here, 1.3415 stop loss, 30 pips, take profit, 65 to the upside. We have that as a resistance, so I'm happy with that. What we're looking for is a move like that. Right? It might break through a bit and then push back up. We'll wait and see, but that's what I'm looking for. 1.3415, 30 to 65. So CAD buy 3415. I'm terrible with remembering numbers. 1.3415, stop loss 30, take profit 65 to the upside. Could it break and break that trend line for more downside? Yes, it could do that. I wouldn't be super keen to sell it down, counter trend trade. There are a couple of, it's not just that support, but there are a couple of levels here that might intervene. So it would make it might not drop straight away. It will just come down a little bit, bounce around and drop. Might not make it that worthwhile, but I think we could see that break and push to the upside. Jamil saying, I look to buy US Swiss franc and I aim to break last high. US Swiss franc, it's coming close, but don't get in yet. Hour needs to close. Remember, the hour needs to close. I think it's going to sit there a little bit, so just watch out for that. So yes, Jamil, I agree with you. There is the alternate scenario that will break and get to that point. So there is that opportunity there on the US Swiss franc. I might actually push this down a little bit to say 8510. I just don't want you guys rushing into that because it is a ranging kind of scenario. 8510, 25 to 45. Okay, 851, where is it? 8510, 25 to 45. There we go. We've done that. Yes, we can do Swiss yen and the flag pattern. Yes, I see that. Rising wedge on the US CAD. Push up, that and that across. Yes, rising wedge needs to break that resistance to the upside. We can see that. Swiss yen take that away. Okay, I think yesterday we were talking about this, looking for that retrace and then push back up. It actually retraced a little bit more than I expected. Now pushing back up, it is at a very important inverted commas level at 170.15 right now. Needs to break. I wouldn't do anything here. I wouldn't do anything here on the Swiss yen. It's right in the middle. Break above that resistance. We could see that upside move towards 171.50. 80 pip move to the upside. Stop loss 20 pips. 25 pips would be reasonable. I want it to clear above that point, so I might go 170.75, 70 pips to 30 pips. Yeah, that would have been tricky, right? On hindsight, the Swiss yen looks like, oh, if only I bought that point, it would have been a good trade, but you know, that happened quite late at night. And after that big push down, bouncing back up, you might think that it could have very well done that as well, right? So this is a bit of a hindsight move. That pop up after that 9 o'clock pop, it would have been unreasonable to enter that trade, right? Because you could have just done anything in the middle there. So look for it to push to the upside, forming up now, before we can see that push higher. Jamil is on the pound, selling the pound. Yes, for me a little bit early or very early, but possible. I can see that there's a chance it will come back down. M15 time frame, maybe still a little bit of an upside left, little bit, but yes, I would say it's a little bit early. I would want to see that retrace. I think, yeah, you're on a lower time frame. I know Jamil goes quite low on the time frame. 5 minute looks like it might sit there a little bit before pushing back down. Might have one more leg up because it's just tested that point. Might have one more leg up, a small one, before pushing back down. But yeah, it could drop from here as well. I think you're on a 5 minute time frame. That's why you got into that, right? Then on to gold. Gold. Is it a news for pound dollar today? There is, yeah, just that one that we spoke about. Most likely going to see a bit of a push to the downside. Yeah, but could even be a nothing kind of news. Okay, now gold bounce, found a good strong support here. Bullish. This was something that we looked at from yesterday. So we have that trend line. I would even consider that as a shorter term trend line. All right, there you go. And then if we just look at the nearer term levels, Jamil says, I want to take 80 pips. Yeah, I'm sure everyone wants to take 80 pips. Everyone. No one's going to forego 80. Okay, there we have that. Then if I consider that to the downside, catch a couple of levels, break above that point. You know what's interesting is that we're anticipating that move up. which means that it should show that the gold could break down. So what I would even think about is to look for reaction at 2034. Right? I want to see a reaction along this area. This point, 2034, and maybe even 2040. Right? So gold could retrace, then after that push back down. Or if it breaks up from this point, then we're going to see more upside, possibly with that as a bit of a resistance level. So it ultimately comes to the point where we want to see what happens to gold at 2034 and 2040. So gold, we want to see a reaction. Look for reaction at 2034 and between 2034 and 2040. There we go. Because at that point we could test and break down or break through back up. But at this point, anything is a bit of a guess, right? So I would keep that view on gold. All right, makes sense, makes sense. Still Val did not come back from his long vacation. Yeah, I don't know. We need to drop Val a message and go, Val, where you get back to training? If Val, if you're watching, get back. Now live because my tea time is off. All right, Jamil. Let's hope your pound dollar is going to not retrace too much, not push up a little bit too much, and start pushing back down. And hey, we will be back tomorrow. Again, same time, same place. If you haven't already, the link for the Discord channel is there. Look forward to seeing you on Discord. And if you have any questions, ask it in Discord. If not, then I'll see you all same time, same place tomorrow. Please help me out. Click that like and subscribe button. That would help us massively, help the channel grow massively. Thank you all so much. Thanks, Diana. I really appreciate that. Thanks, Ayakame. And thank you all. Take care. Trade well. Trade safe. Bye-bye.